morning, everyone. My name is Marty Sumichrast. Welcome to the Level Brands RedChip sponsored webinar. Our company trades on the NYSE American, ticker symbol LEVB. Let's go to the first slide, our forward-looking statements. We suggest everybody take a look at these and talk to your investment advisor before making any investment decision. Let's just jump into the first slide. Our history at Level Brands. We founded the company in 2015, and it's led by Kathy Ireland and myself. In 2016, we expanded the business into the licensing and brand management business. And in late 2017, we completed our IPO on the NYSE American. Just last month, in December of 2018, we made a transformative acquisition, and we acquired one of the leading national brands, cbdMD. cbdMD is accelerating very quickly with premium products available in over 700 retail outlets in the United States, and we have a very expanding e-commerce channel as well. Our goal is to make cbdMD the #1 CBD brand in America. Let's talk about our team. We have a powerful branding and executive team. As I said earlier, Kathy Ireland serves as our Chief Brand Strategist and Chairman Emeritus. I serve as CEO and Chairman of the Board. Mark Elliott, our Chief Financial Operator. Our exciting new group at the cbdMD team, Scott Kaufman and Karen Dunayer, and a great board of directors in Anthony Shriver, Bakari Sellers, Cy Siegel, and Greg Morris. We have innovative licensing and brand management business units that we originally started the company with, our Kathy Ireland Health and Wellness Unit, our Kathy Ireland Men One licensing unit, our brand management unit, EE1, and our personal products unit, Beauty and Pinups. Let's go to the next slide. But the big acquisition we did and where we're pushing forward is cbdMD. Our tagline is powered by nature and enhanced by science. cbdMD is committed to the highest standards of CBD sourcing, extraction, and production. We offer a comprehensive line of 100% natural hemp-owned CBD oil products, including tinctures, capsules, vape oils, bath bombs, topicals, and a full line of human-grade pet products. I use the pet products for my pets. They love them. I use cbdMD every day for my shoulder problem. I fell in love with the product, and we are so excited that cbdMD is part of the Level Brands family. Let's go to the next slide. Slide 7. What is CBD? Cannabidiol is a compound extracted from hemp containing significant beneficial properties. CBD does not possess any psychoactive properties. Therefore, our customers do not experience a high. Let's go to the next slide. CBD metrics. What we were so excited about in the CBD space is the potential of the market. When we first got into the CBD market about a year ago, the market was just starting to expand. There were few players, and the federal uncertainty in CBD created a bit of a gray area in the market. As the year developed, Congress took up the 2018 Farm Bill, which included the hemp rider. And in December of last year, and I think we timed it perfectly, we closed the acquisition of cbdMD on the same day that the Farm Bill was signed by the president. And now CBD is off of the Schedule 1 list of narcotics, and we believe the market for CBD is ready to explode. Some studies have suggested that CBD, which was probably under $1 billion market in 2018, can exceed $20 billion within 5 years. And some studies are suggesting over $50 billion in the next decade. our growth has been significant at cbdMD. In our first year of business, we did over $7.5 million of total sales and ended the year at a run rate of over $15 million. And we're going to talk about some of the comps and where we position ourselves in the market. Our gross profit margin, fantastic at over 70%. And we have significant capital available at Level Brands to fuel this exciting and dynamic growth at cbdMD. From seed to sale, product development, formulation, and marketing. Hey, we start with organic, domestically sourced hemp. We have extensive production process from seed to shelf, and we market our CBD products for the masses, not for the few. The cbdMD difference. As you can see on our PowerPoint, we have a tremendous amount of positive views on our product versus our competitors, our commitment, our quality, our innovation. We're organic, we're vegan, we're US grown, non-GMO, gluten-free. We really provide products to our customers, and our customers love our products, and you can see it in our growth rate and in not only our sales, but in the retail outlets and our online. Let's go to the next slide. Innovative products. Here's our suite of products. We have 78 SKUs. Again, oils, capsules, gummies, vape oils, topicals, bath bombs, and as I said earlier, the pet products, which I think is going to be an incredible growing sector of our SKU line. Again, my pets love the products, and I think if you all have pets and you're looking for it, we'd love for you to visit cbdMD's website. Please try our products. Let's go to the next one. On August the 8th, we founded and are the creator of National CBD Day. So 8/8 is National CBD Day. We're looking forward to it again this year. And it just shows you how creative our team at cbdMD is by being the founder and creator of National CBD Day. Robust marketing. That's what this is about. To become the #1 brand, we have to have a robust marketing campaign. And we are doing that. We were in Entrepreneur Magazine in September, where we were an editor's choice. We were, again, in Entrepreneur Magazine in November. We have also gotten into Rolling Stone Magazine, which I think was an incredibly cool, sexy ad. It said, sorry, we don't get you stoned. Very cool. Next month in February, we're coming out in Elle Magazine because a lot of our customers are women, and we were first company to advertise in Times Square on the ball drop. You can see our picture on slide 15. Well, that was very cool, got a lot of attention for the brand. Athletic sponsorships. If you look at our sponsors, these are some of the top athletes in their respective field. Travis Pastrana, Quentin Rampage Jackson, the list goes on. These athletes put their bodies on the line every day, training and competing, and they turn to cbdMD to help them with their bodies. And they love it, and they're excited to be part of the cbdMD team. You're going to see our team growing. You're going to see us getting into hopefully some of the major leagues as CBD proliferates out into the larger athletic spectrum. And stay tuned. We're excited to team up with some great athletes in the sponsorship program. Now let's talk about the business. Currently, we have 25 million shares outstanding approximately. That includes the 15 million shares that will be issued at the March shareholder meeting. We have currently 10 million shares out now, so that's the 25 million. That makes the inside ownership over 70%. Today, we have approximately an $80, $85 million market cap. Our recent price was in the mid-threes. We have a float of approximately 8 million shares. Our 2018 pro forma sales, which include our existing lines of business together with what cbdMD did, is approximately $16 million. Our long-term debt We had no long-term debt at Level Brands. With the acquisition of cbdMD, we picked up a little bit, but it's approximately $1 million, so not a tremendous amount, and we'll be paying that off in short order. Cash, we had $4.3 million of cash on our books at the end of September. First week of October, we raised an additional $7 million, so we have a healthy cash position. We have no need to raise any capital at this point in time. Assets, again, were $15 million, but with the addition of cbdMD, our asset base has grown. Revenue earnout hurdles per CBD acquisition agreement. This is really important. When we agreed on our transaction with Scott and his team at cbdMD, we paid 50% down, and 50% was payable over the next 5 years, assuming certain milestone revenue targets were hit. And those targets are $300 million in sales in the first 5 years, starting in January of 2019. And as you can see on the chart, the first milestone is 20, then it goes to 40, then it goes to 80, and then 160 for the $300 million. And each one of those milestones, additional milestone share payments are made. What's interesting about this is that averages over a 5-year period to $60 million a year, which, if obtained, is a significant number against our peers. Now let's flip to the next slide. Let's talk about some of our peers. Charlotte's Web, CV Sciences, Elixinol, those are the pure play peers that we have in the public company space. Now, all those companies are all foreign companies trading on foreign exchanges, but Level Brands, cbdMD, we're the first company to be trading on, CBD company to be trading on the national exchange, the NYSE American. So we're very proud of that achievement. But when you look at the price to sales ratio, the average amongst those three is 11.7. Based upon what we did last year, just in cbdMD, we did $7.5 million. So we're slightly under the comp set. Now you look at where we're planning on projecting in our milestones, we're looking at $20 million in revenue for 2019. That puts our price to sales ratio, given where the stock is today, at 4.1, compared to some of the estimates out there that are at 6.3. You look at our year-to-year growth rate, expecting 167% in cbdMD annualized growth rate, which is pretty tremendous, and we hope to exceed that. So when we look at our comp set, they're significantly lower. So we feel like we're really well positioned. Remember, the key is not only revenue growth, the key is brand. We believe that our goal is to become the #1 CBD consumer products brand in the market space. And, you know, with our team, Scott Kaufman, who I mentioned earlier, you know, Scott has a long track record of building brands. Probably his most notable achievement was Blue. A lot of people know Blue in the e-cigarette space. It was one of the, and still is, one of the biggest e-cigarette brands, certainly in the United States, but probably in the world. Scott started Blue with very little capital, and within 40 months sold it to Lorillard for $135 million. It was because he built the brand. And that's what we're going to do with cbdMD, and we're super excited about where we're positioned and where we're going with it. That's the presentation, and I want to thank everybody for joining us. And now I'm available to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Okay, we're now opening the line for our Q&A session with Marty Sumichrast, Chairman and CEO of Level Brands. Welcome, Marty.
Thank you, Paul.
Glad to have you here. I have quite a few questions that have come in, so we'll just jump right into things. I've actually had several questions around the topic of what's going to happen to the legacy business and what will Kathy Ireland's role look like going forward. Can you comment on that?
Sure. Kathy is the Chairman Emeritus and Chief Brand Strategist of the company. Kathy plays a vital role. One of the big things that I think our company, but really the CBD industry, needs is education So many consumers, it's a new industry, so many consumers need to be educated on the product. And as Kathy has referred to herself as the educator in chief, I think she's going to play a great role for us and for the CBD industry as a whole, is to educate everybody on the all the benefits and the misconceptions that are out there about CBD. As far as the legacy businesses are concerned, we continue to operate those. We were able to get back the Kathy Ireland Health and Wellness brand, which we had an exclusive with a licensing deal. We brought that back actually last week. And so we're looking right now on how to integrate those and how to use those businesses to support what we're doing at cbdMD.
Our next question, do you have any plans to explore the market in Canada?
Well, as far as the product is concerned, we obviously welcome anybody to buy our product, and for the Canadians that want to buy cbdMD, we're more than happy to to provide that through our online website at cbdMD.com. We would anticipate expansion in retail as well. Our focus obviously is the United States. It's an enormous market, but we don't want to count out our friends out north either.
Very good, thank you. And we've had a couple questions around profitability. Basically, when do you think the company will be able to reach profitability or free cash generation?
Well, we haven't put out anything yet on that, and I would just say that for us, we're at the first pitch of the first inning in the in the CBD growth cycle, and there will be no better time and probably no cheaper time to acquire customers than it is right now. And so we really want to focus on pushing out the brand and acquiring customers. As we get down a quarter or two, I think you're going to see us talk more about where that leads on the EBITDA and bottom line. But we haven't put that out yet, and we'll probably be talking about that in the next couple of quarters. I think the key is right now to grow the business rapidly. We're seeing incredible growth rates right now in our sales, and once those are put out, I think people are going to be very excited about what we're doing. Our shareholders, I think, are going to be very happy.
Good, thank you. And our next question is regarding the need for shareholder support to formally close. Is there any idea when that's going to happen, and is there anything else significant required?
We have our annual shareholder meeting at the end of March, and just to be accurate, we have closed the transaction. Okay, we own 100% of cbdMD, so there's not a question of closing. The only issue is when you issue more than 20% of the issued and outstanding shares under the NYSE rules, you have to obtain shareholder approval, which we're going out to do at our annual shareholder meeting, which will be the end of March. So there's no concern about closing. We're just going through the process of obtaining the approval due to the 20% rule.
Very good. Thank you for that very important clarification there. And our next question, how have major retailers that previously didn't sell CBD react to the Farm Bill? And are there any active talks to suppliers like cbdMD, and how fast do you expect them to begin making orders from that particular site?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. A vast majority of cbdMD's sales in 2018 was online sales. Getting into retailers was a difficult process because of the uncertainty, which was cleared up with the Farm Bill getting passed. So we're now seeing a lot of inbound calls coming in from retailers across the country wanting to carry cbdMD. Obviously, we think we're one of leading online retailers, and when retailers look to see where we stand online, obviously having a dominant online presence makes it a little bit easier to get major retailers interested. So we're excited about it. Scott Kaufman had a similar example when he was launching Blue many years ago, and Walgreens showed up. And I think when you listen to the story of Blue, which was an incredible story, how Scott built that and sold it to Lorillard for $135 million in under 4 years, it just takes one to come on in, and then everything kind of rolls from there. So we're hopeful here in the short order that some of the bigger players are going to start carrying our product, and we look forward to cbdMD being on shelves all over America and some of the big retailers.
And our next question: does cbdMD ever plan on expanding into the CBD hemp flower market?
No, not at this time. No, we don't have any plans at this time.
Okay. And who do you see as your main competitor, and how do you differentiate?
Well, we used in our comp slide. You saw a couple of competitors that we had in the public space. There's also some competitors we have that aren't public, that are private. I think one of the things I would recommend all of our listeners and everybody listening to do is go to cbdMD.com, our website. On the front page, scroll down, and you'll see one of the advantages we have is our pricing. We think we're the most affordable brand, and we put it right on the web page. You can see where our competitors are priced and where we're priced. So having sometimes 20 to 30% less, we think is an advantage. We also are completely THC free. We don't put a lot of our competitors have 0.3%, the legal limit of THC. We don't do that. So I think, and then of course, there's a lot of companies out there that are producing other products and then putting CBD into that product. That's not really a good comparison to what we're doing. We feel that, having a pure play brand in CBD, delivering our customers the highest quality and pure is where we stand. And that's really one of the biggest differentiating factors among some of the other companies that, as I said, have products and are putting CBD into products, drinks, those kind of things. So.
Very good. Thank you. And we actually just had a sort of a follow-up related question here, but I think you basically just answered it. But just throw it out there just to see if you have any further comment on it. But the larger cannabis companies that are very well capitalized have quite a bit of cash on hand. I mean, how do you? They are starting to come into the CBD market a little bit. Do you think there's any competition there as well?
Well, there are a lot of big THC companies. They do have a lot of cash, and they are now looking at CBD. I know one of them announced, the big one, I believe, Canopy announced that they were doing something in New York where they're going to start growing hemp. We look at CBD, and we believe CBD is a 3-lane highway. One lane is you can grow it and make the isolate out of it. That's lane 1. Lane 3 is you've got the pharmaceutical side of it. I think GW Pharma is a great example of that. And then the middle lane is the consumer brands. That's the lane we live in. And I think that if you know how to build a brand, okay, and I would say this, building a brand costs money, but it's not just about money. It takes a lot of other things to build brands. And I think Scott and Karen and the team at cbdMD, and certainly Kathy, we think we've got some pretty good brand builders on our team, proven brand builders on our team. So I think that, with regard to the other companies, I think if we just do our job and we build a dominant brand, I think we're very attractive. And I think that it's going to be very interesting to see some of these bigger companies that aren't in our business, the moves they make to try to get into the business space. So, again, it's a business that's going from under $1 billion to over $20 billion. If some studies are accurate, we believe that's the case. We actually believe it could be even bigger than that. The consumer acceptance could be just beyond what even some of these studies are suggesting. So there's a lot of room in the market, and so I would just leave it at that.
Very good, thank you. And next question is a little bit related to what you were just talking about to an extent, but actually a couple questions, I'll sort of combine them. Really, are you going to need more capital to grow the business? And do you foresee any challenges as you scale the business to meet growing demand?
Yeah, no, we're set on capital right now. We don't need any capital. We did our last raise, just 3 or 4 months ago. So we're good. We're not looking for any capital. As far as what keeps you up at night, running a business, I think your business is only as good as your people, and attracting the best people is really a challenge of any successful business. We're very fortunate to have just some tremendous people, on our team. We have a deep bench. We're hiring people. We're building out retail sales teams. We just made a really great hire, a gentleman that I actually know, Paul DeBrito, came over. He's had a lot of experience working for over a dozen years at PetSmart, and Paul is going to lead up our pet side of the business, which I can tell you from my own personal experience, giving our CBD treats to a dog that I have that's got anxiety, and how much it's helped my own pet. I think this side of the business is going to be explosive. We're really excited about expanding that side of the business. But yeah, I think that's the challenges. We're experiencing just enormous growth right now, and the challenge is always to have the right people in place, to handle that and to be successful with that. So other than that, we feel like we got the tiger by the tail.
Good, thank you. And one question, sort of almost back to the capital, if you need capital, but this investor would like to know if you can maybe talk about the intention behind the shelf registration that was filed.
Yeah, we filed the shelf registration originally in August of last year. Then the SEC came back and told us that we couldn't go effective until we were public for 1 year. So, we pulled it. Then after the transaction, we just refiled it. It was really a housekeeping matter. It was $100 million shelf. We're not pulling down $100 million. We don't, as I said before, we don't need any capital. So it's just a housekeeping matter. I think it's good corporate governance that it's out there, and so there really was nothing behind it to deal with. It just a normal housekeeping item from a public company point of view.
And our next question: is there any type of lockup agreement on the 15 million shares issued that will be issued onto cbdMD?
Well, there's a lockup and there's a leak out, but remember, the vast majority of these shares are owned by Scott and Karen, and they are subject to all of the restrictions. Scott's on the board, and so I think that from that standpoint, there's not only contractual restrictions, but there's legal and regulatory restrictions.
Thank you, Marty. And next question: what would happen to the earnout if you were to sell the company?
That's a great question, and it's something that we negotiated because Scott's history is to be able to build businesses and exit them and do quite well in the process. And I believe it's a negotiated situation where if somebody were to acquire the company, they would inherit the earnout, I believe, is how we settled it, which, probably makes a lot of sense from an acquiring point of view. You want a team that's, continuing to drive the business. I believe that's the case. I will get back to whoever, if they want to email us directly, we'll try to get back to them on that. But I think there's a provision in the documents that makes it so that there's incentive for everybody.
Thank you. And that was actually our last question that came in. I guess in summary, because we've covered a lot of ground here in the presentation and in the Q&A. So just sort of in summary, what's the key takeaway? Why should investors take interest in Level Brands today?
Well, first of all, we're the first we have many firsts here, right? We're the first listed company, that's now going to be a CBD company. So we're excited about that. We're excited about who we just brought in. I mean, if you look at the success that Scott's had in the businesses, it's remarkable. We've put a team together that I think is puts us at the forefront of brand building. We bought a company that started in a year ago. I mean, if you just think about it, this company started a year ago from scratch with very little capital, and in 1 year managed to generate over $7.5 million of sales, exited the year at a $15 million run rate in a field that had regulatory clouds over it, and did it predominantly online because 90% of the retailers wouldn't take the product because of the regulatory uncertainty, and so I think we bought it at the absolute perfect time, because now those restrictions are somewhat relieved, right? And now you've got an opening online, you've got an opening in retail, and you've got the capital from Level Brands. We, as part of the transaction, invested, and it's a wholly owned subsidiary, but we invested the initial $2 million to really ramp up the marketing efforts and the hiring efforts, and we're committed to putting the capital necessary to get us where we need to be. And so I think it's really come together at a perfect time in an industry that is at the beginning. So it's an opportunity for investors to own a company at its very beginning. Obviously, it's risky, but you know what? I think the reward could be really unique, and we certainly are all working hard to provide our shareholders with an extraordinary return. So that's the opportunity in front of us. We're working very hard. We're very large stakeholders to make that happen. So that's it. So thank you all very much for joining the call and listening. And for those of you that own Level Brands, thank you so much for supporting our company. On behalf of Kathy and Scott and the whole team, we appreciate it and look forward to connecting with everybody again. And thank you. Have a good long weekend.
Thanks for joining us, Marty. And for our viewers, if you want to sign up for news alerts, be sure to enter your email address below the presentation window here. A great way to stay abreast of all the developments. As you just heard from Marty, there's just a tremendous amount of things going on. So it's a great way to stay abreast. So thanks again for joining us, everyone.